I hate Kale and Caulifla is what many of the Dragon Ball fandom are saying. So today in this video we're gonna discuss what aspects do people hate about Kale and Caulifla, why do they hate Kale and Caulifla, and do they really hate Kale and Caulifla? And I'll give you my thoughts at the end as well. Let me quickly break it down for you. So hello and welcome to Dimsy's Domain. If I were to look at Kale, she is essentially, as many people tout, as the female Broly. For a long time before we got her name, she was touted and labelled as the female Broly, and essentially she is a Broly ripoff. Look at her episodes when she first became Berserk. During the Tournament of Power, she pretty much showcased the movesets. She mimicked the spots from the Broly movie, whether it be walking through a Kamehameha. Actually, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but the point is that it was a crazy power up from her initial meek self, and her meek self could barely keep up with Kyabe, and then her Berserk form is going toe to toe with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Let's not even talk about whether he was suppressed or not, but he was Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and she walked through, she tanked a Kamehameha. The point being, Kale is Broly. Why would you want to make a canonized version of Broly instead of pretty much introducing Broly into the canon? Or why were you so lazy to introduce a canonized version of Broly when you could have gone with something completely original? Because even Broly's personality is mimicked when Kale goes Berserk, and Kale mastered her Berserk form in mere minutes. So if there's anything else that I've missed regarding why you hate Kale, make sure you comment it down below and keep it respectful. I'm going to be touching on this and we're going to be addressing this very bluntly later on, but do keep it respectful. But let's talk about Caulifla. Caulifla is, well, a lot of people don't like her, and the reasons why they don't like her is that she's learning the transformations far too fast. Caulifla achieves Super Saiyan 2 so easily. Just mere minutes after learning Super Saiyan 1 after Kyabe taught her. So during the Tournament of Power, we also saw Caulifla becoming Super Saiyan 2, and she had a few bouts with Goku. And why are they just focusing so much attention on these two female Saiyans? The main issue is, why are they being made to look so damn strong? So that is the general spitterfield of reasons for why a lot of people do not like Kale and Caulifla. Another thing that people don't like is that the Super Saiyan transformation is achieved and explained by Kyabe. A shortcut is that it's achieved via the back tingles. Imagine your back tingling and bang, you're able to become a Super Saiyan. And why are they dedicating so much time to these two? Why are they still in the Tournament of Power, whereas Hit and Kyabe are not? How can they master these forms in mere minutes? And how does Kale stand up to Super Saiyan Blue? And how does Kefla become so strong that she's able to defeat Super Saiyan Blue Goku? So we're gonna look at this, and that's pretty much all the reasons to why people don't like them. Now, let's be very blunt here. Let's be very, very blunt here. There is a very immature contingent of fans who don't like them because of the fact that they're females. They don't like them from the fact that, you know what, yeah, there's a blatant air of sexism through some of the comments. Some of the comments which I've seen have been absolutely disgusting. Now, you might say, Dimsy, you're being a social justice warrior. And I'll say to you, mate, if someone were to treat your mother, your daughter, your sister, or any sort of female companion that you know like that, what would you do? If you're such a man, you'd go and slap them across the face and you tell them, how dare you talk like that? But at the same time, I'm going to say this to you. Why on earth, and these are to a very small minority, why on earth would you be so pathetic and exhibit sexism and this despicable and deplorable behavior to an anime? It's kind of pathetic. It's pathetic in every single regard. So let's sweep that under the rug, because unfortunately, and as I said, I'm going to be very blunt here, there is a bunch of fans who simply don't like them because of the fact that they're women. And this is the thing which really does confuse me. At the same time, there's still an amount of fans who They don't like Kale and Caulifla because they are more interested in shipping them with, I don't know, Goku, or they want to make them, once again, depict them in a very obscene manner, which is once again pathetic. Why the hell would you do that? Look at them as characters, look at them as combatants, look at them as people who are competing in a bloody tournament, instead of sexualizing them and making yourself look even more pathetic by doing this to 2D characters. Come on, grow the fuck up. Anyway, let's look at more reasons regarding Kale and Caulifla. I truly do think that there's a misguided approach to why people don't like these two. I think that they don't actually dislike Kale and Caulifla. It really is misguided. What they don't like, and what a lot of people don't like, is that it's the speed at which they're learning, the speed at which events are occurring. Now, another thing I want to mention is that it's not just casual fans, it's not just people who are just not very informed about Dragon Ball who don't like Kale and Caulifla. No, there's people who are very respectable, reputable power scalers who can't stand Kale and Caulifla. There's people who are massive fans and they're very aware of the actual franchise itself. They don't like Kale and Caulifla. They want them to go away, and it's understandable. But the point is, there's a very vocal minority, a very, very vocal contingent of fans who are once again exhibiting a lot of sexism, and if that's not the case, unjustifiable hatred to Kale and Caulifla. And there's another portion who are showing very justifiable hatred towards Kale and Caulifla, and there's even another portion who actually dislike the fact that Dragon Ball Super doesn't make sense, and right now Kale and Caulifla are the figureheads of it not making sense in their opinion. So there's at least hatred from 3 different portions of fans coming together, converging to make it look like, oh no, a lot of people really dislike Kale and Caulifla. So should you hate Kale and Caulifla? Well, I really do think that people are forgetting certain aspects. A lot of people are hating the fact that one of the main reasons is that they're learning the transformations too fast, or they're mastering it far too quickly. And they can't stand the whole time frame aspect of it. And people are forgetting the fact that from Dragon Ball Z to even Super, time frame has been non-existent as a form of continuity. Look, the Boo arc was 2 days long. The Frieza fight was 5 minutes, and yes, I know it was a very long time, but I think the main issue is that when you're looking at the Tournament of Power, because at the end of every single episode they say there are 22 minutes, 20 minutes left, and as they're always reminding us of the time, and you're like, whoa, this all happened in 1 minute. Whoa, Caulifla recovered from absolutely zero stamina in under 10 minutes. Goku recovered from Ultra Instinct in under 5 minutes. Everything just does not make as much sense as it should. How can they recover in this amount of time? And I think that's a fault, not a fault, but it's just an issue that is arising in a lot of people's heads. They're thinking, how do you recover that much stamina in such a short amount of time? And because Dragon Ball Super are always reminding us of this time gap, this time elapse, we start to wonder even more. These issues start becoming even more glaring. So how does Kale how is Kale able to master her Berserk form in what? Mere minutes? How is Caulifla able to learn Super Saiyan 2 to the point where she's pretty much mastered it, because Goku does say, oh, you're doing really well. By the end of the tournament, you could learn Super Saiyan 3, which is ludicrous, but at the same time, the hell. But it's nothing new. In Dragon Ball, Goku was able to learn and mimic the Kamehameha just seconds after witnessing it for the first time ever. This was Dragon Ball. Cell in Dragon Ball Z was able to mimic Super Saiyan Grade 3 after Trunks spent months in the time chamber to learn this form. You can look at Majin Buu was able to mimic a lot of the moves by just seeing it. In Dragon Ball Super, you got someone like Goku Black who's able to mimic pretty much Goku's movesets. Essentially, he learns how to do Super Saiyan, well, his version of a godly transformation in Super Saiyan Rose. But it's nothing new in Dragon Ball Super, and I think this is pretty much a trope of Dragon Ball and a trope in shonen in general. There's no real significance to a time frame, and because of the fact that the Tournament of Power is always focusing on the fact that, okay, a minute's gone by, people are really starting to think, how is this even possible? Look at the Future Trunks arc. They pretty much chucked it all out the window, whereby Vegeta Blue defused in under an hour. So now people are going to be thinking to themselves, and this is a question I want to ask you lot. Is Kefla going to defuse before the 1 hour time limit? Should she defuse under the 1 hour time limit? Because think of it like this. Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, it works and operates by keeping the ki, well, as much ki as possible within your body and not letting it leak out. Whereas, as you can see when Kale went berserk, just Super Saiyan, anything that's not a godly transformation leaks out a lot of ki. Therefore, it's a lot of unstable power, which could therefore, if it's at a high enough volume, can take away the magic of the Potara and thus make you defuse. So I don't think Kale should remain for the whole 1 hour, knowing the fact that if Kale is going to go toe to toe with Super Saiyan Blue, and to such an extent that she forces Goku to use Ultra Instinct, that's the thing. And that's a lot of the thing where a lot of people are focusing their anger on Caulifla and Kale, as Kaba and Hit are not in the tournament anymore. Hit was a fan favorite. Kaba, people were angry that he learnt the Super Saiyan so quickly. Well, he should have taken more beating, but it's nothing new. Goten and Trunks learnt it when they were kids, man. So let's not get pissed off. Another thing is the whole back tingly thing. I don't understand why people would get angry at that. Why would you get angry? It's like, if you're a veteran, if you're a teacher, would you not teach someone a shortcut in how to get to their end goal? Let's look at mathematics. You're learning sine, cosine and tangents. You can remember it through anagrams with soh-ka-toa, S-O-H-ka-toa. So there's a lot of shortcuts to remember things and achieve things, whereby in the past it took years, it took a long time for people to able to remember these things and achieve these things, and now people are getting angry at shortcuts. And also, it's a martial arts thing. Look at Kendamu. Kendamu was explaining about how if you look at martial arts and actual chakra, energy and that kind of science aspect to it, they say that to focus your inner self is what? You focus yourself and it's in that position during that middle area of your body, the back, the frontal area. So it has a lot of martial arts knowledge and lore to it. So making your back tingly by focusing everything within your center makes sense. When Gohan was teaching Videl how to fly, what did he say? Focus and try to make it all gather up. When was it Tenshinhan was talking and teaching his students how to fly once again during that episode whereby Goku is recruiting people, he said focus it in your lower self, just center yourself. So nothing is really different. And another thing about Kale and Caulifla is, look at Caulifla. She was actually recommended by Renzo. When Kaba went to recruit people, he went to Renzo because he was, back in his day, one of the strongest. Therefore, Kaba has a lot of respect for Renzo, and you could assume that Renzo is of a similar combat ability to Kabe. I'm going to alternate between that pronunciation because it gets a bit difficult for me. But then Renzo said, go to my sister, she has more potential than me. So she was already foreshadowed to be a prodigy. She was already foreshadowed to have more potential than, dare I say, Kaba himself. And this was also reinforced later on. Kaba says how much potential Caulifla has. Goku says how much infinite potential Caulifla has. Whis talks about her potential. So she was always reinforced about her potential, but people just say, no, she's learning it too quickly. I'm sorry, if Kid Goku can learn the Kamehameha by looking at it, if Cell can learn to mimic moves by just looking at it, yes, he has genes, but no, he never had the genes to do the Super Saiyan grade 3 transformation. No. If Frieza was able to become Super Saiyan Blue level of power after 4 months of training. Yes, 4 months is more longer than what we are seeing right now. But remember when we first saw Frieza achieving that feat, we were like, no, how is he able to achieve this after 4 months where it took Goku decades? It's just the way things are written nowadays. I think people are going to have to accept that. If you're angry, be angry at the whole lack of consistency regarding the time frame. But why would you pinpoint your anger and your hatred towards Kale and Caulifla? Yes, I guess some of them are, well, both of them could be annoying to your standard, but why would you hate them for the reason of them just being strong? The Universe 6 Saiyans have been already touted to be evolved Saiyans. They don't need their tail, so they're already stronger. So it doesn't make sense for you to hate them for being so damn strong. Hit has no backstory. He has no real build-up, and he gets hit and he gets stronger. He learns as he goes along, whereas there's actual evidence and there's actual lore and backstory and build up regarding the Saiyans, how they get stronger as they fight the Zenkai boost. This was even spoken about. Oh shit, I want to sneeze. Fuck. So there was actual build up regarding the Saiyans in the Future Trunks arc. Goku Black exploited the Zenkai mechanic to a T. And why are people complaining about the Universe 6 Saiyans being so strong? They were introduced as being originally far more stronger, and then of course they're going to evolve their strength from there. And Caulifla is a prodigy. Now, not once in the manga or the actual episodes, and you lot can correct me, was Kaba stated to be a prodigy. Not once was he stated to be a prodigy. Now, Kale, she wasn't also stated to be a prodigy, so anger towards that part is understandable, but at the same time, I think that from a story perspective, she has something else going for her. Now, in terms of Kaba, I know people are angry saying that why are Hit and Kaba not in the tournament, whereas these two are. Remember, Hit even foreshadowed it during the Tournament of Power. He saved Caulifla from being eliminated. He even acknowledged the fact that no, we can't have you two being eliminated. Kaba said no, these two are the secret weapons, and that's why, because they're going to be fusing later on during the Tournament of Power. So don't hate them for no reason, hate them for a reason. Now, what do I think about Kale and Caulifla? I really do like them. If it wasn't obvious already, but I'm not saying this from an unjustifiable point of view. I think that both Kale and Caulifla work really well as a pair. You look at Kale being a very meek, shy persona. She's a very shy female Universe 6 Saiyan. Now, why does this matter? Because you see that obviously she's an homage to Broly, but she mimics his characteristics and she builds upon them. She doesn't hate, she doesn't become berserk from the fact that, oh, it's a baby who's crying. She actually has this form of becoming berserk because of jealousy, hatred, and actual need to show her self-worth. She probably gets overlooked a lot of the times, and this is something which a lot of females can probably, males as well, man. Oh, fuck's sake. A lot of people can just relate to. They feel overlooked, they feel bullied, they feel like people don't give them the recognition that they deserve. They feel invisible whilst in plain sight. And that probably makes a lot of anger boil inside of her. She probably has a lot of anger just waiting to erupt. You know what they say?
Hell have no fury, like a woman scorned.
If a girl is angry, I'm sorry, mate, you are in for a treat. You're gonna get a lot of anger. Let me slow down a bit. A lot of anger focus your way. So in that sense, you could justify her anger, but you can't justify her power. But we are talking about the Tournament of Power where we saw Roshi competing competitively. So yeah, 17 suddenly on the level of Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah. Let's not focus on the power aspect of things. Let's focus on the fact that, okay, they're focusing a lot on time scale, and now that the time scale is very evident in front of us, and it's not as vague as it was in the Frieza fight, where they never really said, oh, there's 2 minutes left from the 5-minute fight, or during the Buu arc where they said, 24 hours have passed. Well, maybe they did, but they never explicitly said, I got lisp, don't I? They never explicitly said throughout the arc going on, this is the amount of time that's elapsed. Whereas in the Tournament of Power, they are saying this continuously at the end of every episode, and I think that's rubbing people the wrong way. Long story short, people don't hate Kale or Caulifla. People despise the fact that compared to before, and when you're comparing it to a time scale, things just don't really add up as they really should. But it's super. It's Dragon Ball. They've been doing it from day one. Oh, I never finished up the point regarding Kale and Caulifla. So Kale is a very meek self, and she bounces off very well on Caulifla, who's this very rowdy girl. She's showing a lot of spunk. She knows she's strong. She knows she's strong, and she's also quite a boss. When she's introduced, she's what, munching on a piece of meat. So she was introduced as this little boss. She's the sister of Renzo, who's very, very reputable. He's a very well respected Saiyan in planet Sadal. So she was introduced as this very spunky, I don't really give a shit, and she likes to fight kind of character. So her and Kale really do bounce off each other. She provides Kale the mental strength. Kale is attaching herself to Caulifla so that she can try to emulate the confidence and the self-confidence that Caulifla is emulating, and with that, that's how Kale finds her strength. And you see that she goes berserk because she feels that she's not able to kind of behave, she's not able to be to her master, her teacher's standards. She doesn't even regard Caulifla as a teacher. She regards her as her older sister. That's how much respect Kale has for Caulifla. So they have this very sisterly bond, but they're not real sisters. They just look out for each other, as you can see in episode 113 or 14, I can't remember which one. They look out for each other. They want the best for themselves. So as characters, they bounce off each other. Now, should they be given as much screen time? Probably not. I think it should be split up a bit because we've not seen other characters, but we don't know yet. They might get their time to shine, such as 17, Gohan, Piccolo, and Vegeta. Vegeta mainly, but then Vegeta works best when he has his badass moments sporadically. That's the way I think that Vegeta works best. So also, you can see that Caulifla likes to fight, and she really does like to fight, especially when you see from her fight to Goku, and she just gels well with Goku. Don't hate Kale, don't hate Caulifla for the reason that they're females. Don't hate Kale, don't hate Caulifla for the sake that they're learning things too fast. Hate them if you're comparing it to other aspects of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and you think to yourself, okay, it's ridiculous because it doesn't make sense, and justify it. Elaborate on your points, and please be respectful. As I said earlier, look, there is no reason to be immature about this. With that being said, I kind of did ramble on a bit. This was unscripted. I'm so sorry. It would have been a bit more shorter. Unfortunately, my laptop is a bit iffy, and editing is a bit iffy as well. So with that being said, I do apologize for that as well. I should probably edit a lot of them out, but probably I'm not. Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You may now exit Dimsy's domain. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.